welcome to Sports in 60 Minutes right here on iRevel Studios. I'm Femi Farawe. I'm excited to have you join us today. There's loads of stuff going through in the Nigerian sports scene. The question everyone keeps asking, when will we get a new coach? We're trying to provide answers to this. The National Youth Games is also on our mind and every other great thing. We'll try to touch on it. I've got Francisca Nwobodo right here with us today. Franny, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. Good to be in the studio today.
Okay, you're looking so pumped.
Thank you.
Let's also say a big welcome to Princewill Oviesan. Missed you last week, by the way.
Yeah.
Francisca,
everybody.
She almost suffocated me last week.
Oh, so sorry about that. But it's good to be back on air.
What did you just say?
I just said I spoke the truth because both of you lost the forfeit, and both of you, well, I thought Princewill disappeared.
Yes, I'm only. Why should I do that? I am bigger than
ended this
that.
conversation last week.
No, I said
No. It's even good for me brought it up right now. I'm bigger than that. When I make my stand, I make my stand. So I'm owing
Thumbs
you,
up.
and I'll fulfill it.
Well, we have one coming up in October, by the way. Super Eagles are back in action.
No problem. I know you love the Super Eagles.
Oh, yes, I do. And I'm also sure that we'll have a coach handling that team when those games come.
I can assure you that we'll not have a coach pending
There's
that
no
particular
coach.
game.
What's Egwavo?
There's
Oh, no, you said we'll have a coach.
I thought you
It's not a
said,
coach.
no,
The
Egwavon will be there.
terrain for most guys is a foreign coach. Egwavon is an interim coach, used and done.
Let's go for a break. You guys
Okay.
want to start it too early. We'll come and touch on all this conversation because loads of stories are emanating. We'll come through. We'll start off with our news segment after this. All right, welcome back to the show, Sports in 60 Minutes, right here. Princewill Oviesan, got Francisca Nwobodo, and me, Femi. We're starting off with stories from the Champions League. Match day 1 came through, guys, and it was a new Champions League system. I'm very excited about it because, one, it's a league robin system where every point you amass goes to one table. So it doesn't matter who you play. If you're at the top of the table at the end of the group phase, after 8 games, you qualify for the knockouts. And the first day brought loads of goals. Francisca, let's start off with you. I know that you're very excited because your team is back in the Champions League. There's a lot of promise with Hansi Flick. It's perfect 5 from 5 so far for him.
we never left. We never did.
But you
I can't
guys
remember
were
the
not
last time we
competing.
didn't play Champions League. You
but you're
would
not
say
competing.
that's the word you would have used, that we are
Francisca,
not really
everything.
competing and not
Francisca,
that we are back.
Don't be
or-
upset. No. Don't be upset. It's too
Did
early.
you see the guys?
Well, they've been okay. They've been all right.
Don't worry, you'll see the game, our own game. But then I think it's been interesting so far in the UEFA Champions League, especially the very first day, where we had the likes of Bayern Munich against, I can't remember.
Dynamo Zagreb.
Yes.
That was a beatdown.
And a whole lot of people were saying, referee, end this game now, end game. Because it's ended 9-0. And we're
9-2.
like, 9-2. Oh, sorry, 9-2. And people were like, please, can you just end this game? So, interesting game there. Then also Liverpool too, against AC Milan. I honestly, kudos to Slot. He did pretty well with the team. That's in my own opinion, because winning away from home, we know how big AC Milan can be when it comes to winning in front of their fans right there in San Siro. But he was able to go away from home and pick a point there. So it's been quite interesting. The one that caught my fancy is Man City against Inter Milan. I'm like, what happened? Like, Pep Guardiola, what is really going on? Anyways, it's still early days
yeah.
and let's see what happens.
Princewill, Francisca touching on Bayern's game. And I'm going to go over there because Harry Kane has become the top scorer in England, or the top English scorer. He's gone past Wayne Rooney. He's got 33 goals after scoring 4 goals in the first game of the season.
Fantastic one for him, considering the fact that he's trying to break new grounds in Germany and playing for a club that has strong pedigree and good history in the Champions League. Yeah, he's a pivotal factor if Bayern is actually going to pick the trophy this time around and is actually on the right course.
You know, also raised concern about, or not concern really, information about Aston Villa, right? Returned to the Champions League after 40 years. Remember, they won it last in the 80s. Got their first win. They played so well. It's a great work Unai Emery is doing. You'd agree, right?
Give it to the young man. You know, when he came to England very first time with Arsenal, people didn't really give him a chance. They felt he didn't really have what it takes to take a team to that pedestal. But he has actually proven it in the Europa Cup with Sevilla. Coming down to Aston Villa, I had a mission. What was the mission? Take Aston Villa to the next level, which they are right now. 40 years not being in a particular competition, you're there right now, and you're making a bold statement. It simply shows that he has a focus. And watch out for Aston Villa.
All right. Also watch out for John Duran, the young striker who came off the bench He's been replacing Watkins, but I thought he had a goal which was disallowed, by the way. But look, that guy has loads of potential. I enjoyed seeing him. And there are loads of stories from the Champions League. And remember, it comes through on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. There will be the Conference League still to come in. There's the Europa League. So this year, there's a lot of excitement. But Francisca, maybe I also get your thoughts about it. The footballers are complaining. There are too many games. Rodri said sooner or later, players will start to protest. And probably they'll go on a strike or something. What do you think about that?
But to be honest, I think that's just what it is, because out, especially games who play in the Champions League, they play Champions League, they play their league games, and some of them play like an EPL, EFL Cup, they play FA Cup, go back to La Liga, the same thing. For me, I think this is just massive. And the truth is this, if this game keeps coming like almost every day, you find out that the players will also be prone to injury. Because how do you want to explain that you're playing almost from Sunday, then maybe take a break Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so I don't know how the organizers of this various league, especially for UEFA Champions League, Europa, and also the Conference League, because that's really where the challenge is. They already understand that, oh, we are going to play our league games. You know, it is not. But when you qualify for UEFA Champions League and other leagues, what happens?
It's Francisca's opinion, but I think the club already know that they have a very busy schedule. That's why you must bump up your squad and have enough players. Now, the star players are always there.
How often do you want to pump up the players? Because you also look, exactly, you want to use the star players for almost all the games. Almost all the games. And remember the financial fair play. Because you want to buy, players. If I don't have the squad.
This group of players, because a squad is supposed to have certain group of players that are ready to bring their very best.
Are you saying that the club takes some of the blame? Because like you're explaining, they should have a large squad, Francisca, from what he's saying. They should have a large squad. And if you have a large squad, you rotate the squad. Because already players are complaining about the Club World Cup, which comes up next year, by the way.
But it's going to be difficult, Femi Farawe. Take, for instance, a Yamal in Barcelona, point in case. Are you saying that Yamal will not play for UEFA Champions League? Is that what you're saying?
He won't play.
So you can imagine a Yamal
play all the games.
Of course, you know that he wants to play all the games, and that's why he's the star player there.
They don't complain.
The star players will always play all the games, all of the games. So,
all right. You know what? We can go back and forth on this matter. But it's obvious that I totally agree. I think that the games are a bit too much.
It's too much.
I think the games are a bit too much. I think that there could be some way to reduce the number of tournaments for not just the mental, because
the organizers are not ready to do that.
So I listened to Henry speak about it, and Thierry Henry has played at the highest level, right? Played football with Arsenal, Barcelona, played for France, and he says preparing for a game mentally every 3 days, at some point your mental strength will take its toll.
I agree. But
that from where it came from, now not even the physical exertion, from the mental exertion, because I agree when you say have a large squad.
The organizers are after the money.
That answers the question. Let's talk about some stories coming through Princewill. This one has to be your thoughts. There's a new manager for Al Nassr. I'm wondering why our producer put this one on, but because he was former AC Milan coach Stefano Pioli, he's been appointed as the new manager of Al Nassr. And you know who plays for Al Nassr?
Well, if you look at what the Saudi League is trying to do, they're trying to project a picture to the world that they can get the best and take nothing away from him. For me, it's just a package to get that league sold out to the world for more viewership, for better. If it comes to money, they have the money, but for more viewership and for proper organization. After they hosted the World Cup, there's been this sudden focus into the Saudi League. So him coming in is also another part of that particular package.
All right, let's go over now to boxing stories. Now, I still know that this divides opinion from everyone. Is Anthony Joshua Nigerian or British? But whatever he is, he's got roots in Ogun State. This weekend, he's back into the ring to try and reclaim a world title, right? He's the mandatory challenger. He's up against Daniel Dubois. Dubois, by the way, Francisca, is younger than he is. Where are you staking your claim? Because I'm going all Joshua. I'm going to say that, all Joshua.
I will as well say all Joshua.
Because we're in Nigeria.
Whether or not. Sometimes, in fact, if it's based on that, I'll say no. But then again, I've seen his tenacity. I've seen his level of, performance and also how he's been able to place himself, even though sometimes when he loses a fight, he finds a way to pick up himself and still continue. So whether I don't care whether this person is younger, but experience I feel is going to play in for Joshua this time around. That's why I'm going to stick with him.
Have you ever heard about Bone?
What is that?
That's what Joshua is bringing to me.
I like, so for me, the narrative is Joshua wins this fight, right? Gets a shot at one of the other title contenders. That's Fury or Usyk.
Exactly.
Right? And I think that we've always wanted to see a big boxing bout. And we waited for so many years. Wilder dodge. Fury dodge. Now Usyk has come into the scene and I think he's done very well. I love what he's done with all the challenges he's faced from his hometown. I'm hoping that this fight, which he will be there for, Usyk will be there to watch Joshua fight Dubois. Wish them the best of luck. One last update before we leave the new segment. Nigeria's under-19 girls, the Junior D Tigers, qualified for the World Championship. I was very excited.
Excited.
I was.
Excited. Despite all the hurdles they had to pass through.
And they lost the final, by the way, to Mali.
To the defending champion.
Yeah.
They had so many issues before they actually traveled to South Africa, but they showed resilience, they showed that doggedness and the consistency they had. From the first game, you saw a team that had a mission. They had a focus, and that took them to the final. So I'm so happy. Kudos to those girls.
All right. We have to wait to see if they get any presidential handshake or meeting.
If they don't get from the president, they will get from the first lady.
I was just going to go there. She's doing a PR
so
job.
she's ready for
Is it necessary? No, but is it necessary?
It's our culture.
It's our culture. Administration. That's what
the administration. Is our culture.
But that's what the
you guys are always, I don't know where you guys meet, but you guys always agree.
This is what the administration is portraying. So what do we do?
I'm saying that we need to go away from these things. Meeting the president is not a big deal. What I mean is not a big deal. It's a good gesture. But the fact that half the number of times you know that if Princewill and I are going to meet the president, we're waiting for Kilobade.
There is something. That's the culture. That was why I said the culture, and that's why I'm agreeing to him.
We've celebrated a lot of mediocrity.
Obviously, I agree with you.
Right? When we say winners, with the exception of the Paralympians,
it's just the Paralympians.
Every other person who's gone to meet the president, they say, I've not won anything. About Super Eagles.
The Super Eagles, but someone will say they came second.
Who do you hold fourth? Is not the ministry?
No, I hold the presidency for meeting.
No, I hold the ministry for because you know that
you entertain champions. If we take this into the USA, I speak about what US do.
Who advised the presidency? Is it not the ministry?
Oh my goodness.
Good.
All right. You can see how we disagree to agree.
That's a point there.
Yeah, that's it. Let's go for a break right now on the show. And when we come back, we'll talk about the National Youth Games. Now, Princewill has got low down on everything going on, including some of the mago that he thinks.
And the ushers too. You didn't put the intent.
You'll share us all those information when we come back.
Also,
you guys. Well, you're welcome.
That's my new career.
Really?
Ushering job.
You come and usher for me.
All right, for the break, we'll be back after this. All right, welcome back to the show. Sports in 60 minutes right here on iRebel Studios. The guys have got thoughts coming through from the National Youth Games, which started, by the way, and it ends on the 19th of September. Now, we've seen quite a lot of impressive performers. I'm from Lagos, so I'm going to start off by saying I've been very impressed by Lagos. There's a girl, Nike Oyero. She plays golf. Amazing stuff. I remember picking up on her story a few years ago when her father said she started playing golf from 5. But Team Lagos generally have done very well. They're not top of the medals table. But you know how we in Lagos do? We believe in a process. I just picked out one athlete for you. But Prince, we've got the lowdown because you obviously will circle and tell us who is leading the medal table, and we know who.
You just want me to say something.
Prince, but you have things to say.
Over a number of years, who has always led the medal table? Either at the National Sports Festival or at the youth. Please explain it.
So the simple thing here is this. A lot of the athletes that you have produced.
Yes.
Right? And credit to
They poach them, right? That's what you want to use.
Yes, they do.
But I can tell you that Delta State has been the producing ground for top athletes. It's always there.
Which of the top athletes? Where? Which ones now?
Femi, go back to the archives.
Which archives now?
But let's come to the National Youth Games. It's been exciting right there in Asaba, even if there are controversies when it comes to... Yes, there are a lot of controversies when it comes to the age issue. Some states believe that some bigger states are using men against the boys. But the beauty part of it all is that almost 35 states participated, including the FCT, apart from River State that was not there. And
because River State was tired of all the shenanigans.
River State has their political issue.
It's a political issue. I'm even surprised that
Imo State was even lucky to have escaped. They were stranded.
Gombe sent just one athlete in gymnastics.
Yes.
She won the medal, by the way.
She won a silver medal.
That's very impressive.
But the beauty of it all is that even if the minister has been talking real nice, we've not actually taken the National Youth Games to the level it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a discovery ground. Yeah. It's supposed to be where talents are nurtured. But what you see most of the states do is win at all costs. They just want to get the medals, get the extra codes. From strong fielders coming in, every state is competing. Let's take, for instance, last year, Delta State has 61 gold. This year, it's about 47. So that shows you the tenacity and the rate of competition among the states. But when you now look at it critically, how well have most of the states coordinated their program? Almost near zero. Because some of them started preparation some couple of months back, which is not supposed to be. Yeah. The last one was in Lorry before Delta State agreed to take the championship for 4 years. Now, each of the states are supposed to have a program where you either bring some of these athletes to compete. In my state, take for instance, Lagos State is an open ground. Yeah. Athletes from Ondo or do you have a regional competition that will prepare these young ones preceding the National Youth Games? No, Femi, nothing of such. But right there in Asaba, it has been a carnival-like. Yes, that's the truth. Everybody's happy, good meal, good pitches, good facility. But what is the rate of focus for another 3, 4, 5 years? That's the big question.
I was going to ask why both of you were having conversation. You mentioned Gombe, one athlete representing Gombe. Then my question now is, what happens in terms of how much will be given to the states? Like, how much will be spent? Will they have the same amount of money that maybe, if for instance, a Lagos State who've got maybe more than...
It comes down to the...
Because that's where the corruption comes into play.
The state government.
Yes, the state government.
It comes down to the state government.
So what amount of money will be dished out?
Means that they will have
is it covering just one?
Yes.
Just one athlete?
Yes.
Let me help Francisca.
But you know how this thing works? Then, like, more than 10 people.
No. There was something they did that was quite unique. Regional championship. But that regional championship has taken place months back. Almost all the 6 regions had to quickly put up the competition to eliminate the crowd. Take, for instance, in the Southwest State, it was held in Osun. Now, the areas you don't qualify to contest in, you don't bring in athletes. So there was serious rivalry between the state competing against each other. Take, for instance, in football, Lagos State went with under 15 boys, under 15 girls, which they won the girls. Other states who came to compete in Osun didn't get that particular opportunity. So for Oyo, Ogun, Ekiti, they're out of it. So you had a focal attribute of what your strengths are is what you take into the National Youth Games. So for Gombe, right there in the south, the northeast zone, they only qualify for that particular gymnastic game they came for. So that's why that
I think you really...
I get where you're going to.
Yes,
the budget, right?
Exactly, the budget.
No,
that's the word. So will the budget now covers just the athletes?
Yes.
The athletes and
the officials, that's all.
How many officials?
No, so that's
for just an athlete?
No, but that depends on the sports ministry.
So, no, but what it means here now, the sports ministry, from my little knowledge, they're not just going there for only that athlete. There are also technical meetings that will be held there. So that's why they'll take a little more than just one, because they're also going to prepare for the next games. And these are the people who are in the ministry that will come back. And remember, the youth games happens, I think, 2 years.
2 years now.
Every 2 years.
Every two years. So it's a bit closer. And let's just state for the record.
And Delta State
closes on the 19th.
For 4 times.
It closes on the 19th, and today is the 19th. So whenever we're watching this, by then the games will be over. And already started by saying how Lagos have been very impressive. Not top of the medal table, by the way. It's Delta.
Usually not there.
It's Delta. I'm going somewhere with this.
Okay.
I'm from Lagos, right? And I know that while Lagos is not top of the table, we have a process. Hopefully we'll get the SSA right here. That's the Special Assistant to the Governor. So, right, to talk about the preparations. And I know that Delta, where Princewill is from, they're king of Ujuru. They're number 1.
Are you from you?
Because it's the truth now.
Okay.
Well, now you guys are master of the game, MOG.
Okay.
Now, we've all said our own. We're not number one, they're number one, but we know how the team
We
is
want to be number one.
we know how
Whether
they
or
do
not,
it.
or whether,
all the youth games.
We know how they
Follow
do
there.
it. No worry, leave matter for Matthias.
Try to copy us.
No. We like process.
Process.
we did where we did.
Where would I be?
We did where we did. We are where we are.
Where are you people?
Where we were,
you choosing?
we are there.
Are you
So we are
choosing?
chosen. We are where we are. Just leave us
Who
there.
you be? Where you came
Leave
from?
us there. I know where it's going. You are trying to throw a shade, but don't worry. We are where
Because
we
your
are.
state's
Can I tell you
You're
that? Can I
from
tell you
Lagos
that
State.
in the
You're from
last-
Delta
in the-
State.
in the
I'm a
last four
Nigerian.
edition,
So we
In the last
are
edition,
where
Anambra
we
State
are.
and Enugu State had done pretty well this time around. 10 and 11.
Anambra has done well, not Enugu State.
Enugu State is on my level.
I
They're
don't
on my
know.
level.
Yes.
From there, so.
Why are you? Why are you even?
There are others
Why are
that are
you?
35.
Why are you even
Yes,
talking?
Like this, like
Where is?
you send your child to school.
Uh-huh.
The child comes back with 11. You'll be excited.
Out of how many people in the class?
Out of 35 people.
Where is?
Okay, can I
So
shock
wait.
you?
The person that carry first.
Uh-huh.
The way my father always said, the person have to head.
Get to it.
Can I shock you?
But there cannot be two
Hold on.
firsts.
Francisca, calm down. Shey you don't want to
Francisca.
answer before. Let the person answer.
okay.
There was a guy in
That's-
my
yeah,
class
yeah.
from Form 1 to be finished up, all round first. All round first.
But let somebody else second.
No, the second was bracket second, not
Was there-
third.
no third. Why not third?
Because most of bracket second, there's no
in
third.
Olympics, there's gold, silver, there's bronze. Now let me answer
Now
to you.
there's-
For Lagos,
there's
for
double
team-
bronze.
listen, for a hair, and Lagos is in double bronze.
Yeah.
Let's move on to something else. That's all.
I'm a Nigerian, so what
doesn't- it
these
doesn't account
guys
like that.
are talking about,
No,
I don't understand.
No, I am with you. From his own angle.
Exactly what Femi is
high
talking
five, take
about.
high five, take
I
high
don't
five.
understand. So we are
No, like
together.
you, this thing, you will see fight. Now, see fight. On this, you will see fight. I wait for you with front. Let's go back to the conversation that we love so much. The national team. Now, we've gone, Princewill, you're not here the last time when we spoke about the national team and what the NFF and the minister
I followed
said.
behind the scene.
Right. The minister said there's work to get a substantive coach. The agreement between the NFF and the technical department, for those who do not know, is in the absence of a coach, the TD, Austin Eguavon, will step in. We've got games in October. We'll talk a little more about those games. Doubleheader against Libya.
Yeah.
Right? What's your take? Stories are flying around the NFF probably this week. There was a story around Wilfred Schaefer, the former Cameroonian coach who led Cameroon to the Africa Cup of Nations 2002. Now, recently, updates are emanating once again, although the NFF have denied both stories, that Bruno Labbadia has started flirting with the NFF again. I remember I brought the story to you people that the words of Thanos, for those who watch the Avengers series, when they couldn't live with their own failure, where did he bring them? Back to us.
Now, Femi, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I want to hold the media department of the NFF very responsible for some of the news that filter out. You must have a concretized agreement with anybody you want to tell Nigerians is the substantive coach. We've gone beyond the era of somebody's coming, somebody's not coming. You see, football is a religion to Nigerians, and passionately a lot of Nigerians trend around it. So when you bring certain news that could become a BP, a blood pressure riser to some Nigerians, it is quite agonizing. Look, we need a coach. The Super Eagles is a fantastic brand. I associate with that particular brand. But you can't just bring anybody just because we want a coach.
Why not?
Bring anybody?
Why not?
Excuse me?
Who was Westerhoff when he came here? What was his
Westerhoff,
pedigree?
the
What was
era,
his pedigree?
the era of Westerhoff is quite different from what we're facing right now.
It's different.
Why
Very
not?
different.
Why?
It is.
Yes.
No, but when Cote d'Ivoire won the Cup of Nations, the person in charge of the team.
Circumstances brought him to bear. Femi, let's be honest with ourselves. We should stop living in this euphoria of it doesn't matter. It does matter.
Jamel Belmadi in 2019, when he also won the Cup of Nations, wasn't the most reputable name on that list.
But he was consistent. He was consistent with that team.
And he's got committed players and
Exactly.
he's got committed football federation of.
Are you saying the NFF is not committed?
They're not committed. I'll say it anywhere, any place.
You know,
They're not committed.
I think
Princewill, you'll be sued for these things you're saying.
Princewill.
I have facts.
You'll be sued for
Princewill.
these things you're
Facts.
saying. You'll be
Princewill.
sued for these things
I
you're
You
am
saying.
know,
ready.
for Femi
I have
Farawe,
facts.
recently I've started noticing something about him,
Would you know
and
it?
I just hope it is not what
Princewill,
I'm.
you know, like I know Joro now.
I just hope.
It's a mistake that
I
Joro
just hope
is
it is
suing.
not what I am thinking.
No.
Because if it is,
No.
then I go to look you with one can eye.
No, don't look at one eye.
I go
Look
to
at
look you
two eye.
with
Why?
one can eye
No,
because
two can eye.
I really don't understand why you and I, before we came on the show or before we came on screen, we were talking about how we have turned both Nigerian football, Nigerian sport, everything as a mediocre.
No,
Caricature.
no.
We have
Caricature.
shown it is
No.
what it is.
No.
And that's why Prince said, you don't come with the mindset of anything goes. Not anything goes.
Two of you
Not
are
anything
delulu.
goes. No.
Because
not anything.
who is not
At least there should be a level.
I am very factual about
There
this
should be
thing.
a level of
Can I ask you a question?
standard.
Ask me a question.
Can I ask you a question?
Ask me a question.
When Bruno Labbadia said he wasn't going to take the job, we had issues about tax and some other factors
As if
that surrounded.
maybe
The
it
man
has
was
been
just being greedy.
rectified.
No,
The man was being greedy.
I'm coming. Now, the consistency of the NFF over time when it comes to disseminating certain information to the public has been maroon, very, very maroon. When Austin Obama was mentioned as the interim coach, what was the time frame? We're not told. Femi, you and I know.
It's not your job.
Why is it not my
It's not your
job?
job.
Information.
Princewill, when the Super Eagles assemble in October,
Yes.
should be somebody will leading them.
But we're not getting the
Well,
foreign
why would we not know
We're
that?
not
See,
getting the foreign coach.
Femi,
Who are
you just
you?
wake
Who are
up.
you?
No,
Who are you?
See,
No.
see,
Who are you?
let's be
No,
honest
I
with
tell you
ourselves.
why.
Exactly.
The things I say to the
disagree.
public goes a long way.
It goes a long
No,
way.
what I'm saying is, I'm not saying this to be derogatory.
Yes.
I'm saying that those who are in charge of the Nigerian football would appoint somebody to do the job.
They're not
Why
doing
are
well.
you and I,
They're not
who are
doing well.
supposed to just report it, complaining about it?
That is the big
Because
factor.
we need to have
Because
we
whatever
have,
I am
it has to be
reporting-
communicated.
England currently
Yes.
do not have a substantive manager.
Uh-huh.
Have you seen the journalists there carrying stick to go and hit their
Do
federation?
you read their papers every now and then? No, that's the question.
Not even
You read the papers every now and
aside
then.
from that.
I will go for a break
Please,
as well.
don't go for a break.
So I can go
because
and
we are
read
not
their
dragging.
papers.
We are not. You
So I
are
can
not
go
going
and
for
read
any
their
break.
papers.
See, Femi, things are done. Yes, we might want to say that here in Nigeria that things are done appropriately.
No,
there.
apart from inappropriate.
So
It's
they are.
discipline.
They have a-
Where?
In
in
England.
England,
appointed new
I can
manager
tell
now.
you,
we're going
you
for a
cannot
break.
compare
We're
England
going for a
and
break.
Nigeria.
We're going for a
You
break.
cannot compare.
Have they won the
So
World Cup
at least they can
They've
tell
won
you.
the World Cup.
No,
They've won
that's
the
not where we are
finals.
going.
They've won the finals.
Have
They've
you
won the
won the
finals.
World
They've
Cup?
won the finals.
Have you won the
They've
World
won the
Cup?
finals.
AFCON, they reach final. They reach the European final.
Did you win it?
You just mentioned the World
They
Cup.
reach it. No, they
You
didn't
just
win
mentioned
the
the
World Cup final.
You just mentioned the World
In
Cup.
over 60 years, they
No,
don't play
you
the World Cup
said,
final.
have they won the World Cup? I said they got to the final.
Recently, I said
Nigeria has not gone to the final of the World
No,
Cup.
I'm saying recently.
Yes.
They haven't gotten to the World Cup final. We
but-
got to the final of the Euros. We got to the final of AFCON. How are they better than us?
Excuse
A break,
me?
We need to go for a break.
Excuse me, I
We
beg,
need
go
to go
and
for a
sleep.
break. I will wake up when we come back from the break.
Please do. Please do.
All right, so welcome to the last part of the show, Sport in 60 Minutes, right here on our Rival Studios. The guys, well, we've all gone on to cool off. It was pretty heated, and trust me, the break, a couple of chairs moved around, but we've rearranged it and we're all sitting down. Let's go now to the Npfl. Few games to come through this weekend. I must get your thoughts, really, before we get into those games from the Npfl. Do you think the Nigerian teams would progress to the next phase? There are two teams left on the continent, Rangers and Enyimba. Prince, with your thoughts, can they progress to the next phase?
You want my candid thought?
I want your fake thoughts. Because if you tell me your candidate, I'm sure you and I will start another battle again.
No, I'm going to tell you the way it is because I have always had this disappointment that our preparatory level when it comes to the continental level is almost near zero. We don't play the politics the way it's supposed to be played. Two, we don't have a team that has the zest and the zeal to move forward. If you compare...
So will they qualify?
No, they won't.
They will not qualify.
They won't
All right.
qualify.
Let's go to the games this weekend, the NPFL. Caterpillars versus Remo Stars. That looks like a very good game. Both teams, well, with their pedigree. Caterpillars have been good start of the season. Remo have also been very good. 2 wins from the first 2 matches.
Yeah. Anyways, yes, good game from both sides, Caterpillars and also Remo Stars. I've seen Remo Stars. They've been so many. They've been so much. They've dominated when it comes to Nigerian professional football. But then again, you will not take away the home win syndrome in Nigeria. And at this point in time,
That has
you know
changed.
how
At the start, season just starts.
it just
But what
starts.
happened last
But
season?
we
Season just starts.
against Caterpillars, against
When
Caterpillars,
Jungle mature.
the home
But
syndrome
we
will
saw how
always
many
come
away
into
wins
play.
came to be.
Towards the end
for
of the
teams.
season, right?
But
Yes.
see,
Why did it come
we've
towards the end of the
got
season?
some,
Because people also needed things.
and we also have some specific teams that you know that you and I know that this one we cannot play.
Like,
Caterpillars
What's in
is there.
Lagos?
Caterpillars,
Sporting Lagos.
you
Sporting
can.
Lagos is in the NNL.
Caterpillars,
Now, but I'm saying
Caterpillars
last
is
year,
there.
a lot of
So
people
I
knew that
feel-
when they came to Lagos, not only was Lagos a neutral ground, you stood a chance to at least get something out of Lagos. Because to be fair, Sporting Lagos were not the most equipped team.
yeah.
Right, so they were not great in terms of result. Because I remember the last 4 games of the season, they practically struggled to get points at home.
So Caterpillars for me.
Lobby Stars Rivers United. Who wins this one?
Oh,
Just your winner. Just pick your winner.
Rivers away from home,
All right.
maybe.
let's turn to Heartland. I intentionally skipped this one from Francisca because I know that Francisca would go around it. They've lost their first 2 games. They've lost both games. And you can understand difficult games. Enyimba, Rivers United are no means fit for them. But this weekend they've got slightly easier, Katsina United.
No, Katsina United is not a bad
Slightly easier compared to Enyimba or Rivers
Rangers
United.
or Rivers.
Right? So this is a bit easier. You think that Emmanuel Amuneke will turn things around this time?
Well, they're playing at home. It should be a fine bonus for the fans to at least make them smile because if he loses this game, it's not going to be funny. You know, at times,
Governor points out.
Yes,
I thought she said he was giving them the maximum support. He's
yes,
there
the maximum support.
We heard from the horse's mouth.
Yes,
remember?
Yes, you see, fans at times their reaction can be very funny. Our league is not the way it is in Europe. They were relegated, and you saw how bad
They were not relegated. Heartland were not relegated.
Heartland was relegated.
Heartland were not relegated.
What happened? No, let's
Let's
hear from
So
Femi.
there was no way the promotion was going to happen according to the rules of the Npfl, right? Beyond limits were promoted, but it's in the league's framework.
You're being technical.
One owner. So the league said one person that owns 2 clubs.
Femi, you're being
cannot have
technical.
So
I won't
what
let you
if-
land. Femi,
So what happened
But
was
what
you can't
if
twist
so
this.
what
what
happened was-
You can't
if
twist
the
this.
owner of Remo Stars and
You can't
Beyond
twist
FC?
this.
What if any of them weren't in the what wasn't the situation or
You can't
what
twist
it was?
this.
So where will
That's
Heartland
the
be?
situation.
You can't twist
Where
this.
will
No,
Heartland be?
Francisca.
They'll be relegated.
No, Francisca.
So I really don't
having-
understand
No,
why
Francisca, I
you're
know
always
Femi is
having-
going to.
I'm always having-
He's trying to be technical.
They were not relegated. They were not relegated.
Femi,
You're suspecting
Femi,
money.
you've not heard me speak pidgin English on the
Be careful.
show. Where you did go?
If I,
Una go follow me together.
Where you did go?
Una go follow me.
Where you did go? Be careful.
but on a real positive note, this should be a curtain opener for the Heartland boys to at least cheer up the fans.
I like the fact that they signed Chijoke Mbauma, top scorer from last season for Enyimba. Francisca, let's get your thoughts on this. There's this possibility that Super Eagles captain
Ahmed Musa.
Ahmed Musa returns to the Npfl. Now, clubs
Not
like
possible. He has been signed, confirmed.
where?
Where?
Katsina United.
Katsina, we're going to go
Yes.
to Katsina United.
Yes.
Were the leaders for his signature. But okay, all
He's
right.
been signed. Confirmed.
All right, so let's move away from the Npfl. You guys have made your predictions, and well, best of luck. We'll come back and review all of these things. Let's go now to Europe, Premier League. Francisca, Manchester City. They take on Arsenal this weekend. Finally, it's a test of these two teams who we saw last season battle again this year.
Man City. I don't want to beat around the bush.
Man City go beat.
Go beat Arsenal.
For house.
Yeah.
Well, Man City is playing at home. But if you look at what has actually translated over the last 2 seasons, it has been a game of wit. Technically, both teams are up to each other. It's going to be a very tough game.
I think it's going to
Especially
be a boring game.
Yes, coming from their last game in the Champions League, Pep Guardiola is not happy.
Exactly. I was going to go there, so-
No. That's not going to happen.
I don't know. I just have this feeling that it's just
It's-
going to be a boring game.
Boring
Both of two of them-
in what aspect?
So boring in the sense that they're going to be too technical, cancel, like what we saw.
Yeah.
The 2 games last year
Yes.
were boring. Both
Were
of
boring.
them.
Very
Both
true.
of them were boring.
Boring.
I can use any English to sugarcoat it and tell you that, it was a lot
No,
of grit,
it
skill.
was boring.
But
It
for
was
the
boring.
neutral, I'm like, come on.
It ended in one of the lowest goal
Yes.
scoring.
Remember that? I think one of them had just one shot on target.
One
The
shot
other
on
one didn't
target.
have a shot on target. I'm like,
and
come
also
on,
ended
guys.
1-0.
So let's just wait to see. West Ham will take on Chelsea this weekend. That's the London derby, by the way, so it should be an exciting game. Liverpool against Bournemouth. Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest the last time, so this will be a tricky one.
Before you go, Bournemouth has always been a very tough nut to crack when it comes to the Liverpool-Bournemouth game. So Liverpool should be careful.
Okay.
Yeah, they should be careful.
But it's not going to be that bad.
I think Liverpool wins at Anfield.
They will, and coming from the
it's,
euphoria of going to
the last game was.
But it doesn't
in
matter.
Anfield.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, 2 home games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's at Anfield. They're taking on
Liverpool.
Bournemouth at Anfield.
Liverpool
I think
for
that
me.
the West Ham Chelsea for me will be the more difficult of the 2 games.
for Chelsea.
Because
That's for
Chelsea away from
Chelsea.
home and won. Chelsea against London teams.
They're very vulnerable.
Because against Crystal Palace, we saw what happened. West Ham might be more drilled. Last game in the Premier League for us to talk about is Crystal Palace against Manchester United. Does anybody want that one? I don't want it.
It's all
Yes, I
about
do.
United.
They beat a whole. Man United beat a ban and they were shouting. You beat a ban. People beat a
Barnsley.
country. You beat a ban.
I think it's going to be a tough game for Eric Ten Hag. You see, Crystal Palace is a very tricky team. If you look at their history over time, that's always been a one-off issue. They've always found it very difficult to get over Crystal Palace. And with the current form Crystal Palace has picked up for the first 2 games, it might end up a little bit in a draw.
Well, I agree. A scoreline draw.
All right. I just praise Crystal Palace win. It'll make the headlines very interesting for next week.
Okay, that's what you want.
Yeah, that's what I want.
And you want to put Eric Ten Hag job on the line.
No, funny enough, I like Ten Hag, and I think that sacking Ten Hag is not the solution at this point.
No, it's not.
But
I agree.
United's banter is always great.
I agree.
It's sweet. Let's switch over to the Spanish La Liga. We've got a couple of games to go through. Princewill, Espanyol away to Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Well, Real Madrid have got a newlywed, by the way, talking about Hendrik. That's a responsible thing for him to do, and he's scored in back-to-back games.
Yeah.
The La Liga against Valladolid, and also he scored in the Champions League in the first game against Stuttgart.
Well, it's a game I think Carlo Ancelotti is still having tough headache placing his players who to play what particular position. But I think it's a game they need the 3 points to consolidate because Barcelona is on their heel. Talking
about Barcelona, perfect 5 we mentioned at the start of the show, 5 from 5. They're away to Villarreal. Villarreal have also started this season like a house on fire. 11 points from the first 5 games, tied on points with Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. And they've got Nicolas Pepe, by the way.
Yeah, the truth is, I have to be very honest here.
Have you ever been honest about Barcelona?
It's a team.
Exactly. So when you say I have to be honest,
But
I'm like,
to be honest, when it comes to team like Villarreal, Valencia, Sevilla, Espanyol, it's always a very tough one for Barcelona to, crack. But definitely, they might eventually crack it, but it's going to be a very tough one. For the fact that they have been pretty on their past games, 5 games, they've won on everything. But I still feel that they will still struggle a bit, maybe just a slim win victory for Barcelona.
Okay, injuries have started setting in for Barca already.
Yeah.
Fermin Lopez is out with an injury. We also do know as well that Ferran Torres is suspended after picking up a red card in the last game. Let's turn now to the Italian Serie A. There are more games to touch on, including the Derby della Madonnina. That's the Milan derby between Inter Milan and AC Milan. It's funny because both of them play in the same
In the same stadium.
It doesn't even matter which one you put in front or back.
Yeah.
It's the same place, so they see jam. It's just the fans. Which one will allow which fans come in? But Inter are the favourites to win the season's title. AC Milan are the pretenders. They brought in a couple of players, including Tammy Abraham, who's come through the door, Alvaro Morata.
Well, he has not had a good playing time.
Well, let's talk about this game. Who do you think wins it?
I give it to Inter. Most of them are still the defending champion of the Scudetto. And with their performance yesterday against Man City, any team actually going for Inter right now should be careful, especially in that midfield. I never know Philip Inzaghi had that grit when it comes to organization.
I like his wing backs. I've always liked how his wing backs play there for Dumfries.
I love the midfield.
Matteo Damian. What's the other? Di Marco on the left. Carlo Augusto is also deputized very well on the left. I've seen them play. I think they killed teams from that fullbacks.
And he's doing something quite unique. He's using Thuram from a very obscured position to get into the attack. And that's a very orthodox way, which I've not seen in football.
All right, so we're all going for Inter Milan, right?
I feel that it's going to be a scoreline draw for me. That's what I feel. Yes, one thing about AC Milan is the fact they know how to get the job done at the beginning of the game, but they don't know how to hold on to the game. So that can also come into play. We saw that happen in their first game so they will score. They will score. That I can guarantee.
Well, they won their last game against Venezia.
They will score. But then again, Inter Milan will find a way to get back at them, and it could just be a scoreline draw for both teams.
All right. Let's turn attention to another big game in Italy. Juve against the now impressive Napoli.
Why did you say now impressive?
Because Napoli have lost their first game but won 3 on the bounce. So 9 points they've gotten from their first 4 games. They are second on the table behind Udinese, who've got a Nigerian goalkeeper who features for the Super Eagles, by the way, Maduka Okoye.
So, and I also,
So you did think now, Francisca.
No, I saw a write-up and they said, you know what? Lukaku is actually better than Osimhen, Victor Osimhen.
Well, the manager said
so.
The manager also said so. The manager said
he really
that Lukaku hasn't even hit form yet.
Exactly. That's what he said. So he want to justify himself to, impress the coach to say, that statement is actually true and eventually that could just be what it's going to be. So Napoli will take this one against Juventus.
I think every player has his uniqueness. What Osimhen did for Napoli 2 seasons back, and be replicated by another player, but that was Osimhen, that was at his best. So when I don't like comparing people, especially players. So if Lukaku is in there now, and the coach likes him,
It's a shine.
when he was in Roma,
shine.
he couldn't really do so much, and he had to go back to Chelsea. He's now back in Napoli. Everyone has the time.
You know what I think? I think that Napoli have had a history of getting very good strikers.
Yes.
Edison Cavani, Higuain, there was Tony at some point. Osimhen did his number as well. I think they've had great strikers over the period of time. And Lukaku joining that ranks, I also think it's a brilliant thing. And
He's a
because
fantastic player.
Nigerians will go on and say, I think, look, for me, it's like when people say Ronaldo, Messi, who is better. I don't care.
I don't even
I
get
watched
comparison.
both of them play. I love it.
Yeah.
God, thank you for that opportunity. Because I imagine being in the generation of Pele. I had only Pele. I imagine being in the generation of Maradona. Only Maradona. But I was in a generation where two people were superhuman. And I had that opportunity to watch. So it's the same thing for me when I see Napoli. I'm like, Osimhen did his own, right? Yes. So now
So
Lukaku
take your
is-
shine when you are when
it's there,
when
right
it's
in
you.
front of you. Let's not over now to the Bundesliga. Bayern puts 9 past Dynamo Zagreb. This time they've got an away game to Werder Bremen this weekend. Harry Kane has been scored. I think he's also scored a couple of goals at the past weekend. So, he's scored what, about 5 or 6 goals? What am I saying? In the
6.
last 6 in 2 games. They're up against Werder Bremen. Those more goals for you.
And one thing about that, I think I'm super excited with what the coach is actually doing. What's his name?
Vincent Kompany.
Kompany. It's made them understand that, you know what, it's something you can get the job done. You can do this. You can fire from all and cylinder. And you can see the guys actually delivering on the communication and, discussion he's been having with them, both on the field of play and off the field of play. So I feel they've just been in their time as we speak. So bring anything for them, they will just, nail it. So that's Bayern for me.
Leverkusen take on Wolfsburg this weekend. Victor Boniface scored, created last week. So you know what? I'm just hoping that they win this one. But last game for us before we go, Stuttgart against Dortmund. Your prediction?
Dortmund.
All right, that said it. So straight up is right in front of you. Leverkusen against Wolfsburg. Then there's Stuttgart against Borussia Dortmund for this weekend. Dortmund have also started very impressive. Won the Champions League, by the way, away from home. So it's still very early days. It's a new manager, by the way, Nuri Sahin, previously a midfielder for Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid. Let's see how the season goes. We'll continue serving you all the big updates. We'll also give you our forfeits. We'll probably have to get a league where we make predictions and then come back to compare what those numbers say. Because I always feel that you guys will do worse than I will do.
Really?
Yeah,
You think
I feel
so?
that I know so, man. History shows it.
Okay.
History shows it.
We
History
need to
shows
agree
it.
on this. Maybe just pick a league this time, pick another league.
All right, we'll do
so
that.
we'll start doing that,
Yeah,
and
that
let's see
was
how.
good.
Let's even test our brains and
History doesn't lie.
do a teaser.
History doesn't lie. I'm leaving the studio. I'm smiling because the king of the forfeits has done what he's got to do. But looking forward to October games. We also hope you join us. We'd love you to share your idea
Defending
with us.
champion, right?
That's who I am.
No wahala.
Saluting
Well, you will be
everybody.
overtaken soon.
My competitors and challengers.
I will
are trying.
overtake you
But
soon.
what can they say? They will only try.
No problem.
They will
Well
not
done.
share.
Kudos.
No problem.
Big thanks as well
Congratulations
to Princewill Oviesan. It was great to have you back today.
It's a pleasure.
Francisca Nwobodo as well. She's great sharing your thoughts coming through. And obviously myself, Femi Farawe. Big thank you to you for watching. Remember, you can follow us on social media, share your thoughts. We'd love to hear those comments coming through about ways to, make the show a lot better and also get you involved. Until we catch you next time, have yourself a great time, everyone. Safe. Bye for now.